Good evening. My name is Tony Silvernagel, and I'm in my first year of my MBA. I'd like to introduce my professor, Dr. Roger McHaney. He teaches information technology in the College of Business Administration. In the course I took from him recently, we had to build working technology solutions to complex business solutions. His instructions included phrases like, make it look professional, add extras that go above and beyond expectations, impress me with new ways of doing things. The projects took a bit of time and made me think. Basically, I think he was trying to make me cuss. Thanks, Dr. McHaney.
Thanks, Anthony, I think so. I recently turned 50. Well, I can't really lie. I've been 50 for 2 years now, which means I've been in my 50s about 1/10 of my academic career. It's kind of a tough time for people to turn that age and to be at that point because things start piling up on you. You have more committees, more service obligations, board meetings, the list goes on, and you probably can get my drift on that. So it is a really tough time. In traditional life, it's probably termed a midlife crisis, a point when your classes start to repeat and become a little mundane and things start to seem the same over and over again. People have come up with a lot of solutions to this, right? Like buying a Mustang convertible. A friend of mine moved to Costa Rica, bought a hut on the beach, and is becoming an expert in the local rums there, as far as I can tell. We also have less savory methodologies to deal with midlife crises, which I won't go into now. But I've come up with one that is specifically tailored toward teachers and to all of you, and many of you aren't to this point yet, I know. But my solution is something that's near and dear to me and has become part of my teaching lexicon, and it is to cuss. Everybody knows that delicious feeling you get when you feel something bubbling down here and it starts working its way out, and suddenly it bursts forth and shocks those around you, grabs their attention, and makes you feel a whole lot better, right?
Dr. McHaney, he's a crazy old cuss.
I just love to cuss.
He looks calm but he cusses a lot. I've never heard anyone say the door so many times in 5 minutes.
Cussing clears the mind. I consider myself a world-class cusser.
This cuss was awkward, but I do it all the time now.
Motto is live free, cuss hard.
A good cussing just makes me feel happy.
I'm surprised you can cuss like that in class.
Can I say, I cuss just as good as him.
You can cuss alone or in groups, both are fun.
I learned to cuss online.
Thanks, Dr. McHaney, for teaching us to be cussers.
Cuss hard.
Live a lot.
Okay, well that's my presentation thing, Before I get myself fired here or somebody sends out a tweet that causes me to lose my tenured position, I am glad that President Schultz is not here today, and I appreciate cutting this video out for him. But I probably need to explain a little bit more about what cussing is in my definition here. And it stands for, and you have to realize I'm a business information systems guy, so I love acronyms. And I've come up with one that is creating under some stress. So when you're faced with a stressful, a boring, or a mundane situation, it's best to try to inject a little bit of creativity into it. And that creativity may take many different forms and can take you to new places that you maybe hadn't thought about before. For instance, in creating this presentation tonight, which was a little bit stressful to think about, 6 minutes to summarize your entire teaching philosophy in front of a group of people in the dark with a bright light in your eyes, what am I going to do? So I started talking to my students, and we created the Cuss video, as it became known, and that kind of helped us get off and running with this particular presentation. How did I become a cusser? Well, it came naturally to me. My home is circled up there at the top in my K through 12 high school, Pickford High, a very small town, 27 people in my class. My entire life revolved around school. My family were all cussers. My mother had the Patty Sawyer Orchestra. My dad was the poet laureate for the high school, and he wrote school plays. My uncle wrote the Alaskan Symphony, and my oldest sister wrote 9 novels that appeared on the New York Times bestseller list. So world-class cussers, it kind of rubbed off on me after a little while. So I've injected ubiquitous cussing into my teaching style. That means personal cussing, classroom cussing, and trying to teach my students to cuss. And I think I've been coming along with that particular thing a little bit lately. So how do I cuss in my personal life? Well, I try to do things that are outside the scope of my normal teaching. I write some books for my own entertainment. I do some bad painting. I build things like a sauna and do home improvement projects on my cabinet. I even have created boards from trees back in the forest behind some property I have. So do that to relieve the stress and help my midlife crisis. In the classroom, I take a similar type approach. I've created my own economic system, do simulations, inject little videos like the one you saw, try to do different kinds of parodies and things like that that help people learn in different kinds of ways. I believe in project-based learning where creativity is the key component. So these are all things that come together. So why do I think cussing helps? I believe that we were all, at one time, right-brain creative people. And that sounds like kind of bad because we still are, but we spend more and more time on the left side of our brain doing organizational things. And this is particularly true as we become further and further into our career. We spend more time organizing, creating lists, looking at our schedules. We need to move back onto the right side and creative side. So a little bit of cussing helps to move you back into the right side of your brain. The takeaway that I want you to go home with tonight is that cussing is a stress relief. It helps you to live longer, have a creative life, and have a longer, happier life. There are many studies out there that show this for sure. So don't just take my word for it. Go out there and read something about it, and you'll find out it's absolutely true. My great-grandfather was a world-class cusser, and he lived a long, happy life, and I hope to too. Thank you.